first training video of this module, we introduced you to the 5 steps to quarterly planning. And just as a quick review, let me go over those with you again. Step 1 is face reality. Step 2 is executive productivity. Step 3 is relationship priorities. Step 4 is personal growth and recreation, and Step 5 is goal setting. And then in that first video, after we made that introduction, we talked about Step 1, which was face reality. And there we had you complete the personal wheel, sometimes referred to as the wheel of life, and we also had you complete the business wheel to give you an opportunity to evaluate where you are in both your personal life and in your business. We also encouraged you in that training video to think about your mindset and to reflect upon how you think. Do you think of yourself as a strategic business leader? Do you have an abundance mindset? And are you a possibility thinker? Many of us are limited, or actually all of us are limited only by our mindset. And so I want to encourage you every quarter to be practicing this face reality step and evaluate where you are personally, where your business is, and where your mindset is. That is so critical. Then in Lessons 2 and Lesson 3, we talked about executive productivity, which is the second of the 5 steps of quarterly planning. And in there, we talked about those 2 lessons, those 2 videos. We talked about these 4 components. We talked about 5 ways to gain leverage. We talked about the importance of decluttering. We talked about the success habits and how important it is that we constantly be developing new and better habits. And then we talked about the daily process, which is how we practice every day staying focused. And so we've talked about these key components of executive productivity. And what I want to do in this video and in this lesson is introduce you to our 90-day planner, our quarterly planner. This is a tool that you should have in your hands, either in a PDF format or in a hard copy. We make these available to you as part of this training, and we want to encourage you to use this tool. This tool is going to be very key to you staying focused and for you to achieve the growth and improvement in your business that you want to achieve. And so we use this, and we encourage our clients and our business owners to go through this 90-day focusing process and strategic planning process consistently, because every quarter, if you will plan and you will focus, you will see amazing results. And 90 days is a perfect time because it's a long enough period of time to accomplish something significant, but it's also a short enough period of time to create a sense of urgency and keep you on track so you don't forget about it. Sometimes the challenge with annual plans is we lose sight of them after a few months and then they fall by the wayside. By planning every 90 days, every quarter, you will stay focused and you will make the progress you want to make. Now, once you've taken time to reflect on your current reality and where you are by using the wheels and by thinking about your mindset, and once you've taken the time to think about how to gain more leverage in your business this quarter, we want to encourage you to start filling out your planner. And the first thing you fill out in your planner is on page 2, is the executive productivity section, particularly decluttering. And so hopefully in the lesson that we talked about this, you identified some clutter that you want to address. And again, it can be physical clutter, it can be mental clutter, it can be personal clutter. Anything that distracts you and takes away your energy is clutter. And so we want you to record that in your planner, and you may only have 1 or you may have 5 different items of clutter that you want to address during this 90-day period. And your planner has 3 columns here. The first is where you identify the clutter. You write it down. Maybe it's clutter on your desk, and so you write down clutter on my desk. And then the middle column says delegate. Is this something you can delegate to somebody else? If it is, do it. Delegate it. so you don't have to deal with it. But it may be something you have to deal with yourself. So the question here in the middle column is delegate, yes or no. And so you just simply put a Y or an N. In the third column, it says person or action. If you're delegating it to somebody, write the name of the person here. If you're going to take care of it yourself, write your action step or action steps in this far right column. And that's how you fill out the declutter page in your planner. Please do this. This is critically important. And then we move on to page 3, where we look at habits. And every quarter, I want to encourage you to be working on a new success habit. And so in the last webinar video, we talked about how to improve these habits. We introduced you to the habit loop, and the habit loop has 3 parts. It starts with a cue, and then it has a routine, and then there is a reward. And so the way your planner is set up is actually slightly different, because when you're thinking and planning, you start with the cue. Actually, you start by identifying the habit. Write down, what habit do you want to change or create? And then you identify the cue and you write that in your planner. And then the second column, the middle column, is actually the reward. I want you to identify what is the reward this habit is going to provide for you. And then in the final column on the far right, you identify your new routine, the new habit you're actually creating. And every quarter, I want to encourage you to work on at least one new habit. Most business owners find that one new habit a quarter is plenty to work on, but if you're really ambitious, I have space here for actually 2 habits, so you can identify 2 if you like. But I want you to start filling out your planner right now. And before we move on with the rest of the planner and the rest of the 5-step process, please complete these 2 pages to this point and have that ready, so that in the next training video, when we move into step 3, you'll have this completed and you'll be ready to move forward.